Videos like these are made possible thanks to your generous Patreon. I was not expecting to review World War Z. It's not based on the marvelous book by Max Brooks, but instead, the mediocre movie starring Brad Pitt. Weirder still, it's come out years after the film, and it's a cooperative zombie shooter exclusive to the Epic Games Store. Of all the licensed tie-in games I've covered in 2019, I should not be loving this game near as much as I am. And that's the thing, I'm not alone this time. While some are dismissing it out of hand without even playing it, for a bad movie, budget-priced, cliche-as-hell game, World War Z is friggin' fantastic. The looming shadow of Left 4 Dead lingers constantly, but Saber has managed to cut out their own take on the subgenre. Seas of the undead rise up before you on the easiest difficulty, ambushing you at every turn. Special variants don't go beyond the template mold, with charging tanks, leaping creeps, hazmats, and spitters, but the way the game's AI director utilizes them, they can genuinely overwhelm you if your team isn't coordinated. They present a far greater challenge and reward skillful play with weak spots over being bullet sponges. These zombie hordes harass you across 4 stories with 3 chapters each, giving you a taste of the global conflict on multiple fronts. You'll escape New York, search for a weapon that might defeat the horde in Jerusalem, discover ancient Soviet secrets in Russia, and evacuate the last ship out of Japan. Out of the current 4 campaigns, the only weak spot is Russia. Its levels feel the least imaginative, relying on regularly holding position in very static locations. By comparison, Japan is relentlessly paced. New York features better layouts, and Jerusalem has superior wave defense sections. Still, if average is the worst any campaign gets, I can live with that, especially given the marvelous gameplay. Combat is amazingly satisfying as each gun pumps ludicrously accurate shots into anything that moves. Melee attacks viscerally dismember the undead limb from limb like you're a samurai. The keyboard and mouse inputs are smooth and responsive, with full rebinding support. I dare say that while the combat isn't as grounded as most zombie games, that's honestly a blessing. By allowing for crazier moments, World War Z captures an ounce of Dead Rising's blood in its veins, and it's a welcome mutation to such a familiar formula. When you're holding back masses of enemies in a frantic last stand, deploying whatever isn't nailed down, it gets your blood pumping just right. Tying this all together is a substantial class system. It takes a little grinding to get there, but World War Z offers a tree of choices rather than simple raw stat boosts. Your starting gear, secondary equipment, combat options, and team-wide buffs are all influenced by what class you choose. Unique team compositions offer the best results, but even if you have 2 of the same class playing together, they can have wildly different builds. This is where World War Z digs in for long-term play. Progression as variability. Not only do you have campaigns where weapons, gear, and enemies are unpredictable, but what each player brings to the table deepens the sandbox drastically. Plus, there are multiple difficulty settings, each with unique modifiers such as friendly fire and what equipment's available, beyond simple statistical differences. And did I mention you can still earn experience even if you play solo? Or that there's an entire competitive suite with 4 versus 4 multiplayer that incorporates zombie hordes rushing in whenever too many guns are fired? It's not as active as the campaign mode, but it's genuinely fun and sure as hell offers more than it had any right to. The best modes reward you for utilizing the horde against your enemies, letting swarms weaken them for a tactical assault. I particularly enjoyed capturing vaccine crates because it has you dynamically moving around the map. The fact you have to earn experience for a separate list of competitive classes is less great, but thankfully they require far fewer experience points to unlock and upgrade. The best part of competitive play is that it captures this dreadful silence between gunfights, leaving you creeping through the halls and dashing to cover. With no massive overlays or fancy effects, finding your enemies before they do is a thrilling challenge in of itself. It might not be the main attraction, but it's damn good fun all the same. It helps that the smaller team sizes also means you don't need more than 8 people to get a match going, and there is a quick match feature, so you aren't trawling through playlists. Far as the story itself, the voice acting is campy, but it fits. The diverse cast with surprisingly detailed backstories featuring animated comic book frames that utilize multiple unique art styles is great to see. The frame rate held steady against masses of zombies, and there's support for Vulkan API if that's not initially the case on your PC. It bumps up the frame rate substantially. It pulls more from your hardware, but still, if you want to get the most frames possible, it's an option. That all said, obviously, this is not top tier gaming. I don't expect World War Z to be nominated for Game of the Year or spoken of in the same vein as the likes of Hellblade or Mass Effect. However, that also doesn't mean a zombie romp this fun deserves low marks. It had every reason to be terrible. Instead, I now have some serious respect for the current team at Saber Interactive. They've come a long way from their time shift days. And that's the thing, I love to be proven wrong like this, and I look forward to whatever else they have in store for Year 2 of World War Z.
Nice piece of beer.